Network. Because you can handle the truth.
The American dream has become a nightmare. Signs of the time are on cardboard on corners in town. Like a cancer that's silently spreading, there's an unspoken fear. We're on our way down. We must take America back.
Good evening, Patriots and freedom fighters. I'm broadcasting from my home studio in downtown Belmont, Pennsylvania, worldwide as National Intel Report, live on Republic Broadcasting Network and Liberty Lighthouse on Mojo 50 Radio and the Patriot Nation Radio Network. Welcome to 2 hours of common sense and constitutional discussion. I am your host, Peter Serafine.
A man, a legend,
with a great beard.
With the greatest beard in radio.
This guy is the sweetest, nicest, most gentlest person you've ever met in your life.
The man's really insightful and pretty freaking smart.
With wit, sharp like safety scissors.
I would walk over hot coals for this guy.
The man with that golden voice behind the microphone.
He's got a big, fat, juicy, beautiful brain.
The Nostradamus of political prognostication. Your host, Peter Serafine.
Hey, no matter where you're watching or listening to this from, please take a moment to share out a link, tell a friend, text somebody. You know, we on the conservative side of the political aisle, we on the right side of the aisle, well, algorithms don't help us. So you've got to help us beat the algorithms. If you want to hear the right side of the political discussion continue into the future, it's up to you to make sure that happens by, sharing it out, telling people, and making sure that we can be found. I've been booted from YouTube myself, so you can't find my personal YouTube channel. But if you look for the show on Republic Broadcasting's YouTube channel, I believe it's still there. It is. We've got a message from Sarah already on the YouTube side of things. So we are still on YouTube there. Twitch is my favorite way. I think you should find the place. It's twitch.tv/P Serafine. That's my first initial in my last name, P Serafine. Put it on the screen if you're watching someplace else. Let's see. I want to start with some stuff that's not politics. Every now and then it's kind of nice, right? Talk about something that has nothing to do with politics. So my stepson was visiting, came to see mom. And we had a brilliant, at least I think it's brilliant, business idea. And I want to run it by you. It's not anything weird or super fancy. I just thought it was pretty creative. Some other people have tried it, but they haven't done it really, really well. So is everybody familiar with the TV show Breaking Bad? It's one of my favorite shows of all. I think it's a fantastic television show, was Breaking Bad. Well, my stepson Zane had the idea of doing a Breaking Bad food truck. So the first thing I do, of course, is, do an internet search to see if anybody else has already done it. And a couple of people have done it, but nobody's done it really well. There's one guy who's got the right RV from the TV show, but that's it. There's other people that have, the costumes, like they're in the yellow hazmat suits with the respirators, but no, that's just not a complete deal. So my stepson Zane and I, we started talking about how to make this a reality and how authentic we can make it and what all we can do. And we decided that we want one of those, I think it's a 96 truck itself. With character, like every time they to cook meth, he takes his his shirt and his pants off, and he hangs them on a hanger off the mirror. Well, I thought, well, that's a brilliant way to display a menu. To the like a T-shirt appropriated as a sort of uniform for the people working the truck. Food items that appear in the show at some point in time. And the menu is kind of funny.
The American dream has become a nightmare. Signs of the time are on cardboard on corners in town. Like a cancer that's silently spreading, there's an unspoken fear we're on our way down. We must take America back, Main Street to Wall Street, cities and states, Washington, D.C. Before it's too late, there's not long. We need leaders who lead us, not stick us and bleed us, then ransom our future and our children's. That's wrong. We must take America back as liberty weeps, our forefathers spin in their graves. Pray God will bless some way out of this mess. We must take America back. Lord knows they'll try to silence our voices. They'll pretend to be patriots, fighting for fairness for all. But they're not even fit to hold office. What they believe doesn't fit with freedom at all. We must take America back, Main Street to Wall Street, cities and states, Washington, D.C. Before it's too late, there's not long. We need leaders who lead us, not stick us and bleed us.
I think I'm back.
Ransom our future and our children's.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know where he got cut off. My internet just flat died. I'm completely lost is how this keeps happening. But yet I still keep having internet troubles. I was talking earlier before the internet, talking about the idea of a Breaking Bad theme. And now my camera died again. So the menu we came up with was all food items. Breaking Bad, the television series, was so popular that Los Pollos Hermanos, which is the chicken restaurant that's been done. Like somebody actually opened up a Los Pollos or whatever it was called. The beer that one of the characters, it's actually out there as an existing beer product that you could buy. And the main character every year for his birthday, top of his eggs. And then one year when he turned 50, his wife gave him this day breakfasts on the menu, one with the veggie bacon. Jesse, another character, made for his girlfriend at one point. Tuco's burrito, which there's actually a recipe for. It's the burrito that the guy, all based on. And if anybody's got like a mid 80s Winnebago Fleetwood that they'd like to donate to the one of those to get started with, that would be cool. $20, presuming that I can keep an internet connection long enough. And the wellness company is are they're doctors that are not woke on to the bandwagon of the public health crisis. These are the hey, this COVID stuff just isn't adding up right. Oh, Dr. Peter McCullough. And if you don't know who Dr. Peter McCullough is, published cardiologist or cardiac surgeon, I forget, than any other cardiac doctor in the history of the world. Didn't buy into the COVID narrative, and therefore now that seems to be a problem, right? Points out this horrible hypocrisy because this guy who 10 minutes ago you thought was one of the smartest people around, now he's just nothing. And feed, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to I can just forget about it. Who cares? You see the wellness company. Use the code Lighthouse. You'll help me out. Get yourself a discount. And you care, not shove pills down your throats. So, more while we're speaking of health, again, apparently my computer is screwing up so bad that the feed to RBN is even choppy, and that's just horrible. To be a radio show, but back to health. So in the personal world, me and my just for the sake of exercise, since I got out of 93, so it's been a real on any exercising. But I now have where the desire came from. I'm going to tell you a quick story though. See, the wife accident a long time ago. Big long story. Not going to really get into it. But anyway, she has a limp. Self how to run again. So she wants to teach herself to run again. So and she's going to try to teach herself to run. So then we got this treadmill. Then she says, why'd you buy a treadmill? I've got this, Nordic Track $1,000 elliptical. Come get that. Well, then just today I went out and I got a exercise bike for $25 off of. So here in the next couple of days, we're going to have 3 pieces of room for it all. So we're going to create an at-home gym. And in a really, really long time. But my thought is I'm going to get up use one of those things for about a half an hour. On a treadmill or half an hour on a bike. Is that maybe that's something that Dr. Vandewater can help. But I used to every day. Those of you on RBN or Mojo 50, I'm sure you've heard the Liberty Minute. A lot of work. Instead. Or once a week instead of every day. Difficulties. We're going to try to get them fixed before 15 minutes or so. So, Mike, our producer here, I'm going to reboot all my stuff and see if we can't come. Right back.
Signs of the time are on cardboard on corners in town. Like a cancer that's silently spreading, there's an unspoken fear. We're on our way down. We must take America back. Main Street to Wall Street, cities and states, Washington, D.C. Before it's too late, there's not long. We need leaders who lead us, not stick us and bleed us, then ransom our future and our children's. That's wrong. We must take America back as liberty weeps, our forefathers spin in their graves. Pray God will bless some way out of this mess. We must take America back. It's hard to find in the morning papers. It's hard to find in the magazines. It doesn't matter what show you tune in. It's hard to find on TV screen, but it's on talk radio. Truth is on talk radio. Turn it on, turn it up as loud as it'll go. Talk radio. Double talk is all you get, and you wanna hear it straight. There's a place to find all the answers. AM, FM, shortwave, talk radio. The truth is on talk radio. Turn it on, turn it up as loud as it'll go. radio. Talk radio. The truth is on talk radio. Turn it on, turn it up as loud as it'll go. Talk radio. Turn it on, turn it up as loud as it'll go. Talk radio. They railed against the crown. Another ragtag band declaring independence. Laid their bodies down on a bloody war and liberty for their descendants. Thanks to the renegades, free today. Thanks to the renegades, we're free today. Thank God for the renegades and the lives they lead are ahead of their time. Without the renegades, Lord knows where we'd be. When it comes to heroes, renegades are mine. Where are the renegades in the world today? Who are the renegades?
Can you hear me? Hey, world, can you hear me? Well, I've given up on the camera tonight. I don't know what it is.
Hey, that's doing a lot better. Can you hear me?
So
Can you hear me, Peter? All right, we're good. Yeah, I think the camera was sucking it all up, man. All right.
And that's the camera like in the
You're on the
laptop.
air.
That
Go
wasn't
ahead.
even the big fancy camera. Hey, well, that's fun. All right. I don't know what's going on. Apparently my computer just can't even handle the video stream anymore. I guess I need a new computer because I was using a big fancy 4K like external camera and that seemed to be messing things up. So tonight I just went with the little built-in laptop camera and that's messing everything up. So now I got no camera. But hey, I always say this is primarily a radio show. So it is what it is. Let's see. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what happened. I really don't. And of course it throws me and now I can't think. I was talking about health. All of a sudden I'm getting this exercise equipment in the house, going to create a home gym and I'm going to do like a half an hour of work in the morning and exercise for the first time in, well, decades. So I don't know. Anyway, I got a few news to talk about, but it is, we're coming up on break time and I don't want to start news headline, have to get in commercial break, but I'm going to get one really quick. And did everybody see the holding a note card with the name and face of a reporter that he was supposed to call on? Okay, one thing, you got the name and the face. I'm not that great with names like that, but it also had the questions he asked. In fact, it had the questions in order. So this was just yesterday when he was in the White House doing a press conference with the South Korean president, and the card that was caught on camera as it's titled, reporter Q&A, April 26, 2023, question number 1. And it's got the reporter's name and face and exactly what she's going to ask. Is that where we've gotten, that our politicians, especially our president, has to have all of the questions in advance, like Hillary had back in the debates the first time around? Have we gotten that far that none of these politicians have enough integrity and enough wit to actually be able to handle live questions? That's sad if that's the case. If that's where we are, then why are we voting for him anyway? Seriously. We need people who say what they believe and what they're actually going to do, not people that are going to go up there and just read off of a card. We need something. We got to change politics. And there's one thing that might happen here in my home state of Pennsylvania. Maybe we'll get to it in just a little bit. But take our break. When we come back, if everything works right, we'll have Dr. Jen Vandewater. I don't know.
Have you been looking for a trusted long-term storable food company? We have a solution for you. Simply Clean Foods is dedicated to providing the best quality food you can buy next to fresh from a farmer's market. Our line of resealable fruits, vegetables, and meats are suitable for everyday use, and you won't have to worry about throwing away valuable groceries ever again. Our food is completely GMO-free, and our stringent quality controls, plus testing for heavy metals, makes us unique in the storable foods market. Simply Clean Foods' primary focus is to bring clean food to people all around the world and change the way we look at freeze-dried food in our daily cooking. When you purchase from Simply Clean Foods, not only will you be receiving high-quality food, but you will also be supporting veterans in need across the country and those who are affected by natural disasters.
Go to republicbroadcasting.org and click on long-term food storage in the rotating sponsors banners to support RBN.
Simply Clean Foods.
You can't handle the truth. You're listening to Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit republicbroadcasting.org today, because you can handle the truth.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Peter Serafine. Please remember to support Free Speech Network's free speech platforms. They need your support now more than ever. So if you can donate, go to the website and donate. If you can't donate because the economy sucks, let's go, Brandon, then use their promo codes when you buy merchandise or buy something from them. Go to my website, buy something from me. Apparently, I'm going to need a new computer because I can't do video live streams anymore. My computer can't handle a camera. So if you want to help me out, it's liberty-lighthouse.com. And, either buy something, use a promo code, hit the donate button, whatever you could do. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, Dr. Jen Vandewater is not here yet. Anyway, we see. So we're going to keep going on, keep talking. And open the phone lines. So the phone line is open. This is a call-in show. It's a radio show. Nobody wants to see my ugly mug on video anyway. So 512-248-8252, 512-248-8252, or 800-313-9443. If you need the toll-free line, greatly appreciate your phone calls, your questions, your comments, and your concerns. So right before the break, I was talking about the president holding the notes that said not only who the reporter was he was supposed to call on, but what question that reporter was going to ask. That's pathetic. But not quite as pathetic as one of the other headlines I saw about President Biden. That headline was that the Biden administration is filing a lawsuit to challenge the Tennessee ban on transgendered procedures for minors. You get what that? Do you understand what that means, what that says? Tennessee, supposedly a sovereign state in these United States of America, has decided that it is illegal to perform irreversible gender affirming care on minors. You know what? I am completely okay with that. I'm usually not a big, well, the government should ban this or that kind of person. I'm not. But when it comes to our children, I'm okay with banning things that are going to ruin their lives or that can't be undone. If we want to undo, I'm fine with that law in Tennessee. But the Biden administration has decided to sue Tennessee because they want the transgendered agenda. See, it's not just a social thing at this point. It's not the 1% of supposedly transgendered people running up and wanting to free rights or whatever. It is the government pushing it, and specifically this administration pushing it. And I just got an email from our guest, said that she didn't get the link from her person to get on here. So let's see here. How quickly can I get her into the show? Anyway. Yeah. What are your thoughts about that? Oh, there she is. She just popped in. Welcome to the show, Doc. I'm sorry, I don't have a camera.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. I had technical difficulties, so I'm glad that I'm here.
Well, nobody ever wants to see me anyway. I am nowhere near as attractive as you are.
Well,
And
thanks.
for the guests out there, she really is worth watching the video for. You don't need to see me. You need to see the attractive guest I get on every now and then. Oh, Dr. Jen, I have had horrible technical difficulties this evening. Apparently, my computer can no longer handle a camera. Not the built-in camera, not an external. Every time I plug a camera in or turn a camera on, everything just goes to crap.
Wow.
But
Well, okay, I'm glad it's not just me. So I was like, and I was messaging Chris and saying, I need to get in. How to help me? How do I get in? I don't want Peter to think I'm ditching him tonight. So
well, now that you emailed me,
yeah,
you emailed me directly. I have your personal email address. I'll just send you the link directly. We'll avoid Chris altogether.
that's a good idea. Yes, but he is spot on. If I message him, he does not delay. He responds right away and gets me what I need. So I will give him some credit.
Well, that's for anybody out there listening. That's the Chris Barron, who you've probably seen on Fox News. He has arranged for many of my repeat guests to come on, and to be quite honest, usually at some point they cut Chris out and I deal directly with them. So he may have just assumed that you've done that already.
Yeah. He's probably like, why am I still the middle guy?
Yeah.
But sometimes I think he likes it. He likes it. Yeah.
Power and control. So, Doc, I've had you on here, 2, 3, however many times you've been on here, and I didn't know that the wellness company did affiliate programs. So until then, and I just signed up to be an affiliate like shortly after our last visit last month.
All this time I thought you
Nope.
were. Oh my
I had no idea.
goodness.
I just
Wow.
believe in the wellness company. I believed in the whole prospect of it. I believe in what it's doing. So yeah, no, I wasn't an affiliate, but I am now.
Well, I'm glad you are now. Welcome as part of the team.
Thank you very much. But that goes to show that I don't bring on affiliates and sponsors that I don't believe in.
Yeah. That's
I
very
have
true.
the ones I have because they're products I use or services that I use or whatever.
Right.
So I was trying.
Well, we have we have some new information coming out. We have so many great things coming down the pipeline here. It's amazing. I think I might have touched on it before with you, but we're getting closer and closer to launching Spike Kids, so that there's a formula for children. I know so many parents out there are concerned with their kids and spike shedding. And sadly, we've had a lot of parents reach out to us from divorced homes. And a lot of courts are obviously favoring the parent that wants the shot. And so these other parents are really concerned for their children's well-being. So we're going to have a product coming soon that will be for children, and also pregnant moms, nursing moms, and also patients on blood thinners that are concerned with the nattokinase that's in our spike support now. So really been exciting talking with chemists and figuring all this out, making sure we have everything dosed adequately so that children can take it, and also it can be dosed so that adults can take it too. So it's exciting.
Right. So spike support is, I think right now it's the newest product you have. And that's,
Right.
to combat the spike proteins in your blood, in your body. Spike Kids is coming up soon. Is that summary what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. It's funny. We always have ideas and we want to move forward very quickly because we know there's a need, and we don't want to have people waiting too long, but we want to make sure we get everything right. We are talking with the team, getting sure of the right ingredients, the right dosing, and it's exciting. I can't wait till it's out there to share all the ingredients and all the fun things about each ingredient. So I'm looking forward to it.
Good. I was trying to figure out how to explain to the audience the wellness company as a whole, and founded by Dr. Peter McCullough and his and people like him that were canceled for what they did. And then it's kind of like two sides. You've got the supplement side, and then the actual care side.
Correct. Yep. It's a new health paradigm. I guess the best way to explain it is we really want to offer health sovereignty, medical freedom. The choice is up to the patient, what the patient decides they want. Our providers are out there to give options and recommendations, not to dictate care. If a patient comes in and says, hey, I've been researching this, and I need to know stuff, the provider can walk them through, and then through a verbal informed consent, just sharing information, the patient then can decide what they then want to do for treatment. We have different membership scales, and that's just so you can have discounts on your products, discounts on the care, and exclusive membership to certain things that we have to offer at the wellness company. So if you're not a member, you still can purchase products, you can still receive care. But if you are a member, and our newest one we just launched probably in the last month is One Wellness. One Wellness is all access. So for $200 a month, you get unlimited access to your provider, unlimited access to your wellness pharmacist, and freedom from pharma. And if you are in One Wellness and haven't tried freedom from pharma, you can now do that for free as part of being in One Wellness membership. Free monthly supplements. So if you are seeing a provider or a wellness pharmacist in Freedom from Pharma, and they say, hey, you really need to take vitamin D and K, you should be on some bee pollen, that's a really good food source, you should be on digestive enzymes, you then can go into your One Wellness membership login and choose your bundle of supplements. And every month, if you want to keep it or add to it or change from it, it will be shipped to your door. No cost as being One Wellness member. So it's amazing the stuff we're bringing forward. We really want to put care in the hands of the patient. We want the patient to be able to decide what's best for them. If you are still suffering from long COVID, or if you are someone who had reactions to the shots and you're very concerned, our providers will still see you and meet with you and treat you under One Wellness. So you have unlimited visits. Labs are at cost. So our providers will order labs, and the labs are at cost. We are not marking up the labs. We are working with the lab company. So it's an amazing thing to bring forward for people. I am truly honored to be a part of a team that is bringing the solution, the new health paradigm, and trying to really bring health and wellness back to the people of America.
So One Wellness includes all your supplements. You said it was $200 a month, right?
Correct.
And some of the supplements are $50 a bottle. So yeah,
Yep.
that $200 a month might make people cringe a little bit, but when you throw in free supplements, that's not bad deal at all.
No, it's really, I'm not a financial person, so I have no idea on the back end of this. All I know is I'm like, hey, it sounds great. I love it. Yeah, I want to help people. So sure, I have no clue. I honestly have no idea, because you're absolutely right. When I heard, I was like, okay, guys, if this is what you want to do, I'm all for it, because I care about people too. But it just goes to show you, we're not looking to, really take advantage of people and their health. We truly want to help people. We want to give them options. And you put in a provider visit and 2 supplements, you're already at that $200. So if you see a provider once a month and you're purchasing 2 supplements a month, it's already covered under that One Wellness membership. It's amazing. I think it's fantastic.
And you have Dr. Zelenko's supplements here as well, Z Stack and Z Detox and all of the Z brands.
Yes. So our founder and chairman, Foster Colson, was actually good friends with Dr. Zelenko. And during their time, and I'm sure it's out there on video, I'm sure I've seen Foster talk about it a lot, but their relationship is what kind of started Foster on the journey to say, this is scary. What he's hearing, what he heard from Dr. Zelenko, says, this is scary. What has our world become? And so he said, if I can't find someone to partner with, I'm just going to go build it myself. And that's exactly what he did. And reaching out to Dr. McCullough, Dr. Gessling, Dr. Amerling, myself, Dr. Reish, and Dr. Seek, who is on the Integrative Therapeutics board with me, another PharmD, we all came together, and we're putting this together and really striving to have options for people where they are knowing that they can trust us, that we are not here for any other reason but because we became medical professionals because we wanted to help people. And now we're finally in a role where that's what we can bring. It's amazing. I mean, I said this just recently, if someone would have told me 10 years ago that I would be sharing information on podcasts about a company that is actually doing the right thing for people, I would have been like, no, that's not going to happen. It was like, no way. I really pinch me, because I'm happy to promote something that matches me on the inside, because it's really hard to find that today. It really is. So I'm just super excited. Great team, great people. We have fun. We joke around. I can't wait to meet some of the people in person, because we're all doing everything virtually. And every one of them is mission aligned, whether they're a health professional or not. They understand the crisis we're in, the crossroads we're at, and they realize it's no more talking. It's now bringing that solution forward for the people.
Well, I'd like to meet you someday too. And I know you're upstate New York someplace. I was born in Watkins Glen, New York. And
Okay.
I head up
Yeah.
I head up there and visit my one remaining grandmother every now and then, and sometimes do some wine tours and stuff. So maybe we'll have to coordinate the next time I head up.
Yeah, you have my personal email now. Go ahead and reach out. Let me know. I would love to. I just love meeting people who understand what we're going through, you can have a real conversation with, and you don't even pay attention to the time, because you're so engaged and you're having a great conversation and just really understanding what we're going through and sharing ideas. I love learning from others of what they've seen and what they're going through, and then using that for myself and in my own life. So I do look forward to that.
Well, I think I've never really cared about physical health, to be honest. I'm 50 years old, and I said earlier in the show, a little personal anecdote. I haven't exercised for the sake of exercise since I got out of the Navy in the early 1990s. So it's odd to me. My beautiful wife, she has a limp. She was in a bad accident many years ago, and she can't run. And she somehow recently decided that she wants to teach herself to run again. So she went and bought a treadmill. So in her words, so that she can do it at home and doesn't look like an idiot out.
I understand. I'm not coordinated, so I get it.
She bought a treadmill. She's going to try to teach herself how to run. And I thought, well, if there's a treadmill in the house, I'll probably start running before work or whatever. Um, and now, her mother was like, "Why'd you buy a treadmill? I have an elliptical. Come get it for free." And so anyway, we're building a home gym that we weren't expecting it to ever have. And
Oh,
so
wow.
apparently I'm going to start exercising in the morning before I go to work.
That's great. That's so good.
I don't know.
I don't, and I hate using the word exercise because then everybody thinks it has to be so vigorous and you have to really break a sweat. Movement is what's key. And we have to learn. I actually had a friend here the other day. She does reflexology and she always brings me my milk from the farm. So she stopped over to drop off some milk for us. And she was talking to my husband and she was helping him with some pressure points. He has a sore shoulder. She says the problem with why we end up having injury is because we become very machine-like. We don't move with fluidity anymore, which is so true. And we don't just move. Like everything is like jump and run, jump and do this. Nobody's stretching anymore. We're not, flexible anymore. We're just really putting ourselves in a bad health crisis, I believe. So for me, I used to be avid runner. I used to go down to the track every day and run all the time. And I started to realize like my joints were starting to get sore. And I was like, maybe I should just walk fast. And walking is actually much better. I don't feel any pain afterwards. And I do it, pretty fast paced. And every morning when I get up, so my routine is I go up to my chicken coop, let my girls out, clean their mess in the coop, get them situated for the day, collect the eggs, come down, get my little dog and his stuff all ready, take him for a hike through our woods, come down, and then I have my coffee. So I do like to have like getting out and just movement. It doesn't have to be specific routines, but if there are people out there that are not building a home gym or just aren't sure what to do, it's just movement. It really just comes down to movement and paying attention how you're moving because you don't want to be machine-like because that's how injuries do occur.
Right. Well, we're by the end of next week, we're going to have an elliptical, a stationary bike, and a treadmill.
That's pretty cool. That'd be great in the winter.
Right. I want a row machine. I think rowing is one of the most physically demanding exercise things that there are out there, using both your upper body and your lower body at the same time. Anyway, I want one of those. Man, they're expensive.
I'm sure they are. But yeah, rowing is. I mean, I go kayaking and paddling, but yeah, I can see that motion would be fantastic for sure. You have to keep me posted. Next time I'm on, I want to hear how your routine is going. This new new you. I want to know.
Here's my morning routine as it exists today. 5 days a week when I have to work, I wake up, I walk downstairs, and my tea is already made for me. It used to be coffee, but I have supplemented because of the cholesterol thing. I do tea in the morning now. So I get my tea and then I take a shower. And then I go out on the porch and I smoke a cigar. And then I come inside and I just sit around and scroll news articles for a half an hour. So my future plan, starting probably Monday, just to pick a day, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go down. I'm going to jump on one of those pieces of exercise equipment. I'll change it every day, so I'm not doing the same thing 2 days in a row. I'll pick one. I'll do that for a half an hour. Then I'll get my shower. And then
there you go.
And then probably have my cigar. I'm just going to eliminate the half an hour of scrolling news articles, which will probably be good for me psychologically as well. Because the news sucks.
I know. I definitely, I'm guilty of that too. Because once I sit down with my coffee and my little dog's on my lap, I'm like, what's going on? And then I'm like, you're right. It's just like, why did I do this? It was so freeing being up in the chicken coop for 20 minutes in the morning. Why did I come to this and start scrolling? So you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So that's my goal for the future. And I'm mostly doing it because, to be quite honest, I put on a lot of weight. I graduated high school 165 pounds. I left the Navy boot camp at like 185 pounds. I gained 20 pounds of muscle. I had no fat to lose. Um,
Yep.
then, over the course of the last, that was almost 30 years ago, I'm up to 235 now. And according
Okay.
to, body mass and all that kind of stuff, I should be right around 200. I'm,
Okay.
I'm 6'2". So, um,
So,
so I need to lose some weight, which I know will help me with my energy level because right now, I work all day. I come home, I take like a 10 or 15-minute nap on the couch and
yeah.
it's enough to reset my brain and I feel good again. But so maybe if I lose 20 pounds, I won't feel I need that nap anymore, but we'll see.
Right. How is your sleep routine normally?
My
Like
sleep
day to
routine
day?
is fine.
Okay.
I, uh,
That's good.
I go to
Mhm.
I get about 7 hours a night on average, on days I work and 8 or 9 on days I don't. And
Okay.
once I go to sleep, I rarely wake up.
Right. Okay, good. That's good. And the other question, a lot of people don't understand sometimes when they're not losing weight, it's the oils they're choosing to cook with or the fake butter. Do you avoid all the bad oils and just use like coconut oil and a really good olive oil and then like butter, real butter, none of the fake stuff?
I use olive oil for most of my cooking. I used to use real honest to goodness butter for everything. I think butter makes everything taste better. I've never used margarine. I think margarine tastes like crap. And,
Hmm.
country crock and all that stuff I think is terrible. But I found one that says that they call it plant butter that actually tastes like butter, but it's plant based instead of milk based. And I believe the hype, and I went, well, it tastes like butter. It tastes, I mean, it really does taste good. So I started using that, and they have it made from multiple varieties. Avocado oil is one of the choices. Olive oil is one of the choices, and I forget there's a third one, but I can't remember what it is right now.
Okay. Yeah, because it's definitely important. They sneak those oils in, and that's actually what causes a lot of problems that nobody realizes. And I guess the other thing that I didn't realize because I'm big on olive oil, Italian. So big on olive oil, and definitely I like avocado oil. It's hard to find the really good ones. And so I was told that some of these in the stores they're mixing
Yeah.
with the vegetable oils. And so you could be thinking you're buying like of avocado oil or olive oil and you're actually buying like a half and half and they don't tell you that on the label. So I don't know, I've got to do some research and find brands that I can trust because I'm really concerned. Some people have said if you stick your olive oil, and I don't know about avocado oil, but if you stick it in the fridge and it gets cloudy, it's tainted. So I don't know if you stick it in the fridge like overnight and you look at it in the morning. So I don't know, but it's definitely concerning. It's like great. So we stock up on coconut oil, and we do cook everything with butter because we use cast iron pans and just lather it with good butter and then make your eggs or whatever. There's a little bit of sticking, but it's not as bad. So
Every
yeah.
time you come on, I think I like you more.
Good. Yep.
Well, I'm
Yep.
from an
Oh, yeah.
Italian household too, so I use lots of butter and olive oil and lots of everything. You mentioned earlier about your friend that brings you fresh milk. I have an old-fashioned milkman. I
Oh,
there's a local dairy who actually delivers, and he comes and brings the glass bottles, and then
yep.
once a week and picks them up and brings new ones. And
Yep,
yeah,
that's what she does for us. She's amazing. We actually, I mean, we exchange stuff all the time. So we have chicken, so we give her eggs. She goes and gets our milk for us. It's great. And again, she knows like reflexology, so she was helping my husband a little bit yesterday with his sore shoulder. I just love that way of life. I could just live in a bartering world. I think it's amazing. I think it's fantastic. I think it's great to just exchange things you have, help each other out. We've given her sawdust. She's asked for sawdust before from my husband's sawmill, and just helping each other out. And it just makes it's good. It's a good feeling. I think I love it. I'd love to. I always said I was born at the wrong time because I always liked the old way of things. But now I'm like maybe I wasn't because it's all coming back and I'm getting to live that lifestyle with running water and electricity. So that's even better.
that's right. The benefits of both worlds.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And you're in the forefront of bringing healthcare back into the hands of the people, rather
Yes.
than being shoved down the throats by government.
Exactly. Yeah. There's nothing more that makes me happier. And, I will say in our Freedom from Pharma program that we have, I cannot tell you the number of people that have been so grateful and so thankful for having this program available to help people come off of unnecessary prescribed medications. I can't believe it. These people are so grateful. The messages we get of how thankful they are that someone out there is actually taking the time to listen to them, to work through, anything that's going on, get their body back in balance. And then the pharmacist connects them with a provider, and the provider starts them on this deep prescribing plan. And the people are loving it. We've had so many people now come through and actually come off of many medications. It's amazing to see. And I will tell you, they say they feel better. It's amazing. They're like, I can't believe how good I feel. I can't believe that I'm living better. Like, they're just amazed. So for me, knowing that it's kind of like, big pharma, you're not getting us all. I kind of feel like I really like that, because I want people to, own their own health and not be beholden to a pharmaceutical industry that does not look out for their well-being.
That's fantastic stuff. And, I told you a couple of months ago that my doctor wants me on statin medications, and you got a very frightened look on your face when I said that. That's another part of the trying to lose a few pounds, is to get him off my back.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I agree. I am not a fan of statins. I think I pretty much know we've been misguided from the mainstream medicine on what cholesterol is all about. We actually need cholesterol.
All right. Well, producers tell me it's time to go. Thank you very much for your time, doctor.
Thank you.
Extendivite, a 7-herb combination of garlic, cayenne, hawthorn, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Extendivite is designed to strengthen the heart and arteries and help the body heal itself. Doctors are not able to explain the improvements they are seeing in their patients' health who are taking Extendivite. People who once needed more pills are now taking less and getting better. Due to the unexplainable improvements in their patients' health, more doctors are calling to order Extendivite for themselves. Help Extendivite make your doctor a believer. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Are you sick of censorship? TLB Talk is the cure. TLB stands for Truth, Liberty, and Balance. We are the newest and most unique social media platform to hit the internet. We were built out of necessity because big tech, big pharma, and big brother are out of control. The only thing bigger than them is when we, the people, are united. With that vision, TLB Talk was born. Our battlefield is in cyberspace. The battle we're in can be won by clicks of buttons and voting with your wallet. TLB Talk has no hidden agendas, no corporate funding, and we do not sell, trade, or give away any of your information. Our platform runs off of generous donations of members and merchandise profits. So please check out our site. It's the best around. And be sure to stop by our store. It's loaded with items that'll have you feeling a sense of member pride and victory. Come unite with us today at tlbtalk.com and join the social media revolution.
Are you one of the millions of people who feel like there is a dark cloud hanging over their heads whenever they're using pharmaceutical drugs? For some, the short-term relief can turn into an opioid addiction nightmare. Have you ever wondered why CBD oil is a billion-dollar industry? It's because it works better than opioids and is actually healthy for you. However, CBD oil is stripped of all other helpful compounds found in the hemp plant. According to neuroscientists, the whole hemp plant, otherwise known as hemp paste, is even more effective than the chemically processed CBD oil. Are you ready to take back your health? You can try hemp paste for the price of a cup of coffee.
Hemppaste.com/RBN. free shipping on orders over $50. See the banners for hemp paste at republicbroadcasting.org and visit hemppaste.com/RBN.
You're listening to Republic Broadcasting Network because you can handle the truth.
The American dream has become a nightmare. Signs of the time are on cardboard on corners in town. Like a cancer that's silently spreading, there's an unspoken fear. We're on our way down. We must take America back.
Hey, welcome back to the top of the second hour of National Intel Report, live on Republic Broadcasting Network and Liberty Lighthouse on Mojo 50 Radio, Patriot Nation Radio Network, and anywhere else you might find the program. I want to apologize for anybody who might be trying to watch in video form. I'm having technical difficulties. I have no camera, but I don't really care because this is primarily a radio show anyway. So it is also a live call-in radio show. If you would like to get on air, you want to hear your voice broadcast over the satellite radio airwaves and the internet radio airwaves and wherever else we are, 512-248-8252 or 800-313-9443 for the toll-free line. So far, you get to pick what we talk about. So far, I've talked about how President Biden is being handed cards with the names and faces of the reporters he's supposed to call on, in what order, with the questions that they're going to ask. And though you can't tell from the picture, I would suspect that the answers that he's going to give are on those cards as well. Now, the Los Angeles Times has denied that they submit the questions to the White House before a press conference, even though I'm pretty sure that was a Washington Times reporter's face on that card that had the question that was about to be asked. But they've denied that they do that. So that's one of the topics that we've talked about so far. Another one was that the Biden administration is now filing a lawsuit to challenge the Tennessee ban on the gender affirming care of minors because Joe Biden wants your child. Let me emphasize that just a little bit more. Joe Biden wants your child who is not old enough to vote, who's not old enough to drive or drink or smoke or join the armed forces, wants that child to be able to alter their life forever through gender affirming care. Those are the two headlines we've talked about thus far. And Patrick in Texas on line one. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm doing just fine. I hope you're doing pretty good. You mentioned in the start of the show you want to talk about the Constitution. And I would imagine it's what our guiding documents for our federal government. There's always the Bill of Rights is actually the main thing that pertains to the general population of people, and that they had to fight for like 2 years to get that to be put down on paper, because the people that actually wrote the Constitution, were Robert Morris and all the attorneys that did it. They basically just crafted whatever they wanted. They admitted things, added things in the welfare and proper clause. They just made it the welfare and convenience clause, as Thomas Jefferson said. So it's pretty much done. They already had already edited everything out right from the very beginning. What do you think about that?
Well, I think you're right for the most part, and I think more than anybody else, we have Patrick Henry to thank for the Bill of Rights being written. there were basically two camps regarding the Bill of Rights. There was the camp that said that, and I think this is a legitimate argument to be had here, that there was a camp that said that if you list the rights, then it's going to be perceived as a complete list, and they'll take away anything they want that's not on that list. And there was a fear and a danger of listing the rights, and I think that was legitimate. But now with, the 240 what I for 247 years of history to look back upon, thank God Patrick Henry convinced Virginia that they should not ratify the Constitution without the promise of a Bill of Rights, because they already stomp all over our Bill of Rights as it exists today as much as possible, they being our federal government. They stomp all over it all the time. COVID was a giant spotlight on their disdain for our rights. And without that Bill of Rights, we wouldn't have anything to point to and say, wait a minute, federal government, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's what happened, like in England, when they go with Magna Carta. The king was just stomping all over the people's rights, and their favorite trick was to incarcerate people, lock them away, and keep them there until they get weak, and then they'll sign anything, and then and so that was one of their favorites, and some other nefarious things, but that's you bring the prisoner forward. I can't think of the name for it right now, but there was that, and then there was also the grand jury come out of the Magna Carta. Now that was a very powerful weapon for the actual people, because you didn't have to have anything, government approval, nothing. You could investigate, you could bring them up in front of your court, but unfortunately that was overrun by the law establishment. They took it away from the people, and they put it under the legal system, and they took full control of that. Now it's completely used as a weapon against us. But anyway, we tried, they tried, but these slick little lawyers, they have ways around things, and it takes them a while. They'll bribe a bunch of politicians or kings or whatever, and they'll get what they want.
That's true. Lawyers ruin everything, or at least make everything more complicated. That's for sure. Patrick, there's all of a sudden a pile of callers piling up behind you. I'm going to have to let you go. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate the fact that you brought us back to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, because that is my focus. That's what I want to focus on all the time. With Dr. Jen Vandewater being on in the last half hour, did you know that there was almost a medical freedom amendment in the Bill of Rights? But it was one of the ones that didn't make it through the process. And right now, today, in 2023, there's a pretty significant push to make a medical freedom amendment number 28 to the U.S. Constitution, which I think I would support that. But let's move on. Moving on to Francis in North Carolina, line 3. Welcome to the show, Francis.
Hey, young man.
How you doing?
Oh, my. What can I tell you? Staying busy. You really do need to go easy on Joy Boy. I mean, he has a rough job ahead of him. I mean, he has to have a hanky tucked in his top so whenever he brings his insurer, he doesn't spill it all over him. Unless he happens to have the pleasure of a straw to suck it down with. So, I mean, I don't doubt he probably has the questions on the card along with the answers that's already been pre-done ahead of time. But we really need to take it easy on this dude. I mean, the dear little boy, I mean, he has such a psychologically challenging job to figure out which color socks to put on, along with what type of shoes and so forth. Thankfully, he does not have to tie his shoelaces.
Well, I feel bad for the guy. I honestly do
I
feel bad
don't.
for Jim.
I
I feel
don't.
bad for him in that I believe what he's going through right now is elder abuse.
Well, I'll
I
give you.
don't think he has enough sense to even understand that he is being used like a marionette, that he is
No.
a puppet. Now, I have said from the beginning, the moment he first announced, I said that Joe Biden was a meat puppet for his party. And this is before I realized he was completely freaking senile. He was a meat puppet for the Democratic Party. He's been a meat puppet for the Democratic Party since he first joined the Senate in
Yeah.
1973.
Well, I'll tell you something. In light of that comment, the aspect of them trying to do something about the state of Tennessee as far as their legislation is concerned about children and the age that they have various things done and so forth, the federal government needs to butt their nose out of that, because that has nothing, unless the federal government pays the bills of those parents in that state, they need to butt their nose out and leave the parents deal with that, not them.
Ding, 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 ding. There is nothing in the U.S. Constitution that mentions medical anything. Therefore, as far as I'm concerned, the federal government has no authority or jurisdiction over anything having to do with medical anything.
I mean, I've heard the comment that government influence basically ends at the skin level, unless they're trying to adulterate that, like everything else they're trying to adulterate. But out, unless you're paying their bills, but out. Let the family deal with the growth of their children and so forth. They have no.
But here's the problem with that: the way that you just framed it, I completely agree with what you're saying. But the way that you framed it, the wording that you chose, unless you're paying their bills. Well, guess what, my friend? You are paying their bills. And so am I.
No.
And so is everybody else in the country.
No. I'm talking about if the federal government is paying the everyday person's family's bills, not the other way around.
Yeah, but the federal government is paying everything to everybody. The federal government, the way it exists today, is taking money from you and I and giving it back to the states. So anybody in any state who ever accepts a penny of anything from anyone can be tied to the federal government. And that's where they think they have their jurisdiction.
That's where they're misled. Because quite frankly, their control ends they're in that 10-mile square of D.C., let alone the military complex. But otherwise, hands off. Back. I'll put it this way: to quote a lame line from a film back in the 90s, "Put your hands up and step away from the child." Of course, in the film, it was "Put your hands up and step away from the monkey." But it was from a very comical film. I won't quote the name because you probably already know what it is, but it was funny. With that, I'll have lime coconut and pineapple with my pumpkin pie, since Corona's been adulterated by a drag queen.
Oh, wait, before you go.
Oh dear.
All right, so you got the Bud Light Dylan Mulvaney thing, right? And then now you got the Tucker Carlson, leaving Fox News thing.
Yeah.
I saw the funniest meme I've ever seen. And I'm not going to do it justice because this is a radio show and I'm trying to describe something that's visual. But it was basically a comment that says, hey, Bud Light tried to lose more money than any other company in one day possible. And then Fox News said, hold my beer.
Oh, that is so wrong. On so many levels, that is so wrong. Oh, on that note,
stop.
On that note, I'm gone. I'm out of here.
Peace be with you. A little explanation of that in case you live in a cave. Of course, Tucker Carlson has left Fox News, and Tucker Carlson was the biggest ratings draw of any news show, prime time or otherwise. More people watch Tucker Carlson than any other news show any time of day on any network anywhere. And all of a sudden, he's left Fox News. You, you could only assume that he was fired. When he left, the Fox News stock has dropped $600 million in value. It's down about 4% or something, 5%, something like that. $600 million in stock value, which is roughly what Bud Light stock did right after they announced the Dylan Mulvaney partnership. Go woke, go broke, as they say. Moving on, we've got what do we have? We have Sarah in Oregon on line 5.
Hey, everybody. This is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Download the Freedom Hub app from Spreely.media. So get your news instead of Fox, like the Daily Mojo. Bye.
Bye, Sarah. Sarah is, as I say often, Sarah plugs our show on and many other shows. She's a warrior for free speech platforms. But this sounds like a good point for me to tell you about one of my favorite sponsors, a friend of mine, Romika Designs. Romika Designs is laser engraved, laser cut, custom creations just in time for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is, let's see, today's the 27th. Mother's Day is about 3 weeks away. So if you want to get mom the perfect custom created, laser engraved, laser etched, laser cut Mother's Day gift, go to romikadesigns.com. That's ROMIKA designs.com, and use code Lighthouse when you're there, and I'd greatly appreciate that. And they'll get you a little bit of a discount and a couple of pennies in my pocket because, apparently I need to buy a new computer. If you are one of those unfortunate few who usually watch the video live stream to see my ugly mug, you may notice that you just see a throbbing logo on the screen as I speak because my computer apparently can no longer handle the data feed of a live video camera. That's sad. But it is what it is. This is a radio show, so we do radio stuff. The camera was just for those few people that might want to see my awesome beard that unfortunately is attached to a fugly face. Moving back to some other headlines in the news. So we got Joe Biden and his, stuff. Joe Biden's got a bunch of stuff. One of the ones that really caught my eye and really kind of bothers me, and most people are going to say, it's just some little thing. What do you care? It's students in Michigan. 2 students are suing their school district in Michigan because they were wearing Let's Go Brandon sweatshirts. And the school district said, no, you can't do that. So these are middle schoolers. So we're talking, 7th, 8th grade-ish. And they wear these Let's Go Brandon sweatshirts to school. And I believe it was an assistant principal who said, no, you've got to take those off. Those are vulgar or profane. And, no, they're not. And I think this is something really worth discussing. So the Let's Go Brandon is a, shall we say, sanitized version of F Joe Biden. So this school district, which does allow political clothing, it does allow political statements on clothing in their school. These kids wore Let's Go Brandon sweatshirts to school, and they were told that they have to take them off. Now, the excuse given by again, I believe it was an assistant principal, the excuse given was that they're profane and vulgar. Well, no, it's not. It's a sanitized version of profanity and vulgarity. We all know the story, right? We all know where the Let's Go Brandon came from. If you don't, there's this NASCAR driver named Brandon who wins a race. There's a reporter there interviewing the winner of the race, Brandon. But the crowd in the raceway is screaming, F Joe Biden. And the either idiotic or quick thinking, I'm not sure which it is, the reporter who was there in a clearly uncomfortable situation says, oh, look, they're chanting, let's go, Brandon. So, of course, that was grabbed by everybody as let's go, Brandon, a euphemistic, sanitized version of F Joe Biden. And it's become a thing. Like you say, let's go, Brandon, and everybody knows what it is. But it's not profane. This school district is basically saying, because everybody knows that let's go, Brandon means F Joe Biden, that you can't wear it in school. Now, if we allow that to happen, where does it stop? At what point can a sanitized, not profane, not vulgar statement that's used to represent something else, granted, if that can be censored, if that can be stopped, where's the line? How far does that go? Love to hear your thoughts on this because I think this is a very interesting conversation to be had. So if you've got an opinion on this, the phone line is 512-248-8252 or 800-313-9443. So these students say that criticism of the president is the core of political speech protected by the First Amendment. Well, it is, clearly. But the school district says it's not that you're criticizing the president that you're not allowed to wear it. It's because it represents vulgarity. It's not vulgar, but it represents vulgarity. Now, I don't think the school district has a snowball's chance in the hot place of winning this case if it actually makes it to court. Because the school district does allow political messages. That's very important. They just don't like this particular political message. You know, where we've seen stuff like that before. So part of their argument thus far has been that, well, you can go to, Wikipedia, and there's a whole Wikipedia page on the Let's Go Brandon. And everybody knows that it actually means this other thing. Yeah, well, everybody knows lots of things mean other things. Where's the line? And keep in mind that this is a school district. Therefore, this is a government office that's trying to censor their First Amendment protected free speech, airing grievances of their government. Anyway, that was something. I think that's a very interesting story. And I think there's a big discussion to be had there because, well, they're students. They haven't yet matured to achieve all of their constitutionally protected rights. But other political speech is allowed. So it's a very, I don't know. I just think it would be an interesting chat to have. So it's about break time. If you have a thought about that story, I'd love to hear it. 512-248-8252, 800-313-9443. We'll get to that this commercial break. Be back in about 3 minutes.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, 2, keep it today.
My name is John. I'm the founder of Blackout Coffee, and I started Blackout because I really love coffee. I've always loved coffee, and after traveling so much to Europe, South America, and trying so many different coffees that were so good, and every time I came back to the U.S., I was so disappointed with the coffee, so I figured that I had to do something about it. The biggest difference is on the beans and the roasting process, how we roast it, and how fresh it is. The fresher the roast, the better the quality. Here I have all of the coffee. It's roasted within 1 to 2 days prior to being shipped. So it literally gets to consumer's house within 3 to 5 days after being roasted. If you like coffee, you have to try ours. It's fresh roasted. It's one of the best beans that we can get, and you will definitely see the difference.
Visit blackoutcoffee.com and use the coupon code REPUB10. That's REPUB10.
Have you been looking for a trusted long-term storable food company? We have a solution for you. Simply Clean Foods is dedicated to providing the best quality food you can buy next to fresh from a farmer's market. Our line of resealable fruits, vegetables, and meats are suitable for everyday use, and you won't have to worry about throwing away valuable groceries ever again. Our food is completely GMO-free, and our stringent quality controls, plus testing for heavy metals, makes us unique in the storable foods market. Simply Clean Foods' primary focus is to bring clean food to people all around the world and change the way we look at freeze-dried food in our daily cooking. When you purchase from Simply Clean Foods, not only will you be receiving high-quality food, but you will also be supporting veterans in need across the country and those who are affected by natural disasters.
Go to republicbroadcasting.org and click on long-term food storage in the rotating sponsors banners to support RBN.
Simply Clean Foods. Do it today.
Welcome back to the show. It's the final segment. Here, I'm Peter Serafine, and I've had some technical difficulties tonight. And if you're used to watching the video live stream, I'm sorry, but my ugly bug isn't there. So hopefully you're listening to it on the radio like a normal person, because I've got a face for radio anyway. I was just talking about a story where students got banned from wearing sweatshirts that said "Let's Go Brandon" on it, and I really think it's something to talk about. But hopefully, that's what Glenn in Philly wants to talk about, because I really want to have that conversation. Glenn in Philly on line 1, welcome to the show.
Hi, Peter. I'm actually harkening back to something much earlier in the show. You said it's the final segment. You end on the half hour?
Oh, this is the final segment, as in I end at the top of the hour.
Oh, okay. I see what. Okay. But anyway, so I'm calling. I regret to inform you that Heisenberg didn't have a cat. Schrodinger had a cat.
Well, I don't know where the cat came from. The Heisenberg is a tie to Breaking Bad, the television show.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. How we got Heisenberg, I don't know. I don't follow the show. I know it's about the guy who started cooking drugs, and now he's a big criminal and all that kind of stuff. That's about all I know.
Right. He kind of
mentioned
had a underground code name of Heisenberg.
Oh, that's weird. Now Heisenberg, he's more of a quantum physics guy rather than chemistry, so I'm still trying to figure that out too. But now, seeing you could call the truck Schrodinger's fried cat, and then in small parentheses fish. So you have Schrodinger's fried cat fish. Because everybody's going to recoil in horror at the idea of frying cat, but not catfish. So you
Right.
kind of
Right. Well, it was Heisenberg's Cafe.
Oh, cafe. I thought you said
yeah.
cat. Oh, okay. Cafe.
No,
Heisenberg.
I was who knows what it sounded like?
Well, you were having
many technical.
Yeah, you were
horrible.
bleep blipping all over the place. So no wonder okay. So I got the bandwidth issues going on there,
Apparently so, which is weird because before I come up here into my own little home studio, I turn off my television, which it's a smart TV, so it uses internet. So I turn it off. I have a hard wire straight from my computer to my router, so it's not on Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't figure out why, if I turn a camera on, I lose everything. It didn't used to do that. It just started like 3 weeks ago. It started getting pretty choppy. So that's when I decided, oh, maybe I need to run a hardwire. So I, dug through the house and fished a wire through the walls and got a wire all the way up here to my second floor studio.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't help.
Well, it might be time to upgrade from that to IBM PC-AT, even though the chiclet keyboard is very nice.
Oh man, it's actually not that old, which is why I'm.
Now maybe a new video card or some extra RAM or something like that.
I'm thinking maybe RAM. I'm also thinking maybe I need to stop buying the cheapest, thing that I can buy. I'm so frugal, especially when it comes to a computer, because I really don't do that much on a computer. So they're like, oh, well, this one's got blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever. Can I do X, Y, and Z on this little one over here? And they're like, yeah, sure.
I'm wondering, I don't know.
But then, here
signaling
it is 3 years later and it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, that's weird. It's, because most of the computers today are, off the shelf. Even the cheapies are, have pretty good specs compared to the stuff from a number of years ago. And then the other thing you got to figure, there are other people, on the network who aren't having this problem, who also have, similarly simple arrangements. So, that's odd. I hope you get to the bottom of it. I'm not the guy to help you do it, but, hey, good luck with the home gym. You got, how tall are you? How tall are you?
6'2".
6'2". Okay, see, now that makes you overall leaner than me because I'm 5'11" and 220. So, which means you're trimmer than I am. I just don't, know. All right, good.
I mean, technically, according to a doctor, I'm probably in the obese category. I don't consider myself obese. I consider myself overweight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but if you look at the BMI calculation stuff, I fall into the obese category. I'm 235, 6'2". I mean, I've got a 38-inch waist. I don't think that's that bad. Granted, when I graduated high school, 38.
Oh, no, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, when I graduated high school, it was a 30, but
we'll do some rowing, but all righty. Well, I hope you have good success with that, and I better get going.
All
right.
Well,
sorry to muddy the waters on the Heisenberg thing. There really are no Heisenberg compensators. Sorry to inform the trekkers, but there might be some Heisenbergian overcompensators, but you can't really beat that problem. All right, take care. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks. Well, Glenn there in Philly was hearkening all the way back to the first segment of the show. If you joined in the middle or something like that, my stepson and I have the idea of coming up with a Breaking Bad themed food truck, and we're gonna sell food that it was all in the Breaking Bad TV show at some point. And of course, there'll be like, blue rock candy or something like that. Maybe some chili pea rock candy to mimic the meth of Breaking Bad. But everything else in it was, food straight from the television show, served out of a mid-80s Winnebago Fleetwood RV as the food truck. And we were going to call it the Heisenberg Cafe. And I just think it would be really cool. I think people would come and buy stuff from that food truck just because of the Breaking Bad theme of it. Because Breaking Bad was it was a great television show. It was incredibly popular, and it's resurging in popularity now that it's like 10 years old. So I think it would be a great idea. So if you're out there listening and you happen to have a mid 1980s Winnebago Fleetwood that you'd like to donate to the cause, we'd be happy to take it and turn it into our food truck. Oh, where were we? Let's go back to some politics. So I live in the great state of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, if you will. And one of the things that I don't like about my Commonwealth is that we are a closed primary state, which means if you are not a Democrat or a Republican, you don't get to vote in primary elections. So for me, I'm registered to the Constitution Party. So I don't have a voice in primary elections at all. If you're registered to the Green Party or the Libertarian Party, you don't have a voice in primaries. If you're independent because you're disillusioned with all of the parties, you don't have a voice in the primary elections. Pennsylvania is one of only 9 states that have completely closed primary elections. But that might change. There's a bill floating around Pennsylvania right now to end the closed primary here in Pennsylvania. And I haven't seen a bill come out of the Pennsylvania State House that I'm more supportive of in a very long time. And if you think about it, I pay taxes. I'm helping to fund this whole process, but I don't have a vote in the primaries. And I've talked about primary elections in the past and older shows. If you want to go back and listen to older episodes, you'll probably find me saying something to the effect of, why is government involved in primaries at all? There really shouldn't be law about primary elections. There is nothing government about a primary election. A primary, whether it's done by election or convention or however it's performed, it is a private organization, i.e., a political party, deciding which candidate they're going to back, which candidate they're going to put on the ballot in the general election. So, what does that have to do with state law? The the Pennsylvania State Democratic Party or the Pennsylvania State Republican Party, they don't really have anything to do with it. It's all it's primaries. It's their stuff. Why are there laws? Why does it go through the electoral process on, a special election day just for them? But I'm being told by our producer that he's got a funny clip that he'd like to play. So go ahead, Mike. Let's hear it.
Formula, no chili powder. No, chili peas, my signature.
Chili peas, my signature. That's, of course, from Breaking Bad. Hence, me earlier saying the chili pea rock candy. Chili pea being chili pepper. And if you didn't watch the show, man, that's funny stuff. There's a point in the show when the two main characters, Jesse and Walter, are being held hostage by this guy who hates chili pepper, but they don't know that. And he's making them burritos. And Jesse, the guy you just heard in that clip, was like, "Oh yeah, it's the bomb, it's the stuff, man. Like I put chili pea in it." And the guy who's holding him hostage is like, "Man, I hate chili pepper," and he just throws the food. Therefore, they were trying to poison him, but it didn't work because he hates chili pepper.
Ridiculous. You and I will not make garbage. We will produce chemically pure and stable products. No adulterants, no baby formula, no chili powder. No, chili peas, my signature.
Oh, good stuff, Mike. Thanks for queuing that up. I greatly appreciate it. Oh man, I gave you a lot of personal information in the last 2 hours. I don't usually do that. Not that I'm trying to hide anything about my personal life. I just don't find my own personal life that interesting. So I assume that you wouldn't either. So now what do you know about me? You know I'm a mailman, you know I'm a Pennsylvania state constable. You know I'm getting fat and I'm building a home gym. And I might try to figure out how to make a Breaking Bad themed food truck, which might sound like a crazy idea because so many restaurants and so many food related industries go bad so quickly. Like the average, I mean, most restaurants and most food businesses can't survive the first 5 years. But I actually have a little bit of a knowledge about that. I spent 27 years in the hospitality industry. I taught people how to run restaurants. I ran restaurants and the food departments of hotels and nursing homes. I actually know the business really well. And one thing I know better than most is calculating costs. So should we decide and should we figure out a way to actually make this Breaking Bad food truck go? I think I could make it work. I honestly think I could make a legit business out of it. I don't know if I'd make enough money to give up my beautiful day job as a rural carrier for the I I don't I, I don't know how to make that sound good. I really don't like being a mail carrier, but it does pay well. So anyway, let's go back to the Breaking Bad. So we had the birthday breakfast, fried eggs, hash browns, and bacon in the number of your age. The healthy version, which was vegetable bacon, spelled out in the number of your age. Huevos rancheros, the Tuco burrito, Tuco being the guy that had the two guys held hostage, and the burrito that he made for them when they when they were trying to poison him. Then the Prisoner's Special. If you watch the show, you remember Crazy 8? Crazy 8 was locked in the basement and Walter was supposed to kill him but couldn't get over it. Couldn't get to I'm going to kill a guy. And they had Crazy 8 locked in the basement and he kept feeding him and he was feeding him a bologna sandwich. It was mayonnaise, cheese and bologna and some potato chips. So we got a Prisoner Special on our you know fake Breaking Bad themed food truck menu. And of course, there was no crust on the sandwich. See, Crazy 8 would rip the crust off his sandwich. So Walter started cutting them off himself. Then we got chili pea rock candy and the blue sky rock candy. Funny stuff. I would have a lot of fun with that if we would ever be able to run it off to get it going. This isn't why you come here. This isn't why you listen to me. You listen to me for politics because, well, I assume that's why you listen. That's the only thing I've ever really talked about. But what else is there to talk about? I believe 27 states are now constitutional carry states where you can carry a firearm without getting a license from the state. 27, that's over half. Yeah, I like that. That's a good thing. But at the same time, we've got other states going the other way. We've got Washington State trying to pass was it a semi-automatic rifle ban. So we've got that national divorce thing starting to happen in our country. We've got red states becoming more red and blue states becoming more blue. Is that a good thing? Or is that a bad thing? During the Civil War, there was a pretty clear dividing line. Generally, we refer to it as the Mason-Dixon line, even though that had nothing to do with it. The southern states were on one side and the northern states were on another. I don't know that a line would be that clear if we go to this national divorce process that we've got going on right now. I don't think you can just draw a line on a map and set it up as this is the blue side and this is the red side. It's more nuanced than that. And it's even gotten to the point that it's more nuanced than that within an individual state. I mean, here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we're mostly a red state, like many other states, mostly conservative states. But the population centers turn more and more blue and more socialist. So if you look at an electoral map of the state of Pennsylvania, you've got a blue area around Philadelphia, a blue area around Pittsburgh, a little bit of blue around Harrisburg, the capital, a little bit of blue up in Erie, and a little bit of blue right here where I live in Center County, Pennsylvania, where Penn State University is. But the rest of the state is all red. But yet we went for Joe Biden the last time around because it's the population centers that turn blue. And why is that? That's something I have yet to figure out. Maybe that's something that you can help me with. Is there a listener out there that can explain why the population centers, why the cities always seem to go blue? 512-248-8252 or toll free at 800-313-9443. So that's two conversations that I'd really love to have. Why do cities always turn blue? And what do you think is going to happen with this lawsuit in Michigan where these middle schoolers can't wear their Let's Go Brandon sweatshirts because they're quote unquote vulgar? Either one of those I think would be great conversations to talk about. But of course, as a caller, you can call in and we can talk about whatever you like. Right now, one of the things I'm keeping an eye on is the the idea that the digital currency thing and how it ties into the green agenda and the statement. I don't know, was it a week ago, 2 weeks ago? The JP Morgan CEO, was it Jamie Dimon? He came out outright said that we might have to, government might have to use eminent domain and take your property in order to fund the green agenda. Wow. Can you imagine 20 years ago anybody coming out and saying something like that? Now statements like that are made all the time, and it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't get the horrible news headlines that it should. Nobody should be suggesting that ever. But he says it, and it's just a blip on the radar. The green agenda that this current administration and the leadership of the Democrat Party is pushing is going to cost so much money that the CEO of JP Morgan Chase doesn't think it can be funded without taking your property. But Joe Biden seems to think it can be funded just by, well, we'll just make more money. Was it AOC the one time when she was asked, where does this money come from? How do we pay for this? And she said, we just pay for it. There's the problem in DC. That's emblematic of the whole problem of DC. Nobody in Washington, D.C. views the money that they have, the money that they spend, as our money, the taxpayers' money. See, we elect these people kind of like a church, right? You have a treasurer, you have, people that count the collection at the end of the day. These people are all trusted to be good stewards of the money. And just like in a church, sometimes if you turn your head and you trust them without checking, sometimes, well, one of them's a crook. But in the case of Washington, D.C., we turned our head, and it turns out that almost all of them are crooks. Even if they're not there lining their own pockets, like the Biden family seems to be doing, according to all the accusations out there, all the stuff on Hunter's laptop and the 10% to the big guy. Even if the people there aren't lining their own pockets, they're still not treating our money, the public funds, with the respect that it deserves. We, the people, are paying for almost everything anywhere. See, left or right really shouldn't matter when it comes to the money, right? If you're a left-wing person, let's say you're a out and out socialist that lives in California. Well, you should be outraged when a state like Tennessee passes the whole transgender affirming care for minor ban, because your tax money from California went up to the federal government and then got divvied back up, and part of it went to Tennessee. So you're a lefty liberal and you're paying for a right wing extremist agenda. And if you're like me and you are on the right side of the political aisle, well, then you should be offended about the left wing of political agenda that's being pushed in other states. That's all part of the problem. All of the money in our country now flows to the federal government, giving the federal government all of the power, because they use the money that they divvy back out to the states as leverage. That is a huge part of the problem with our country today. That's not a federalist system of government like was established here. That's the opposite of a federal system of government. That's, well, it's downright communist. And it became communist the minute that we adopted the communist idea from the Communist Manifesto to have a progressive income tax in this country. That one simple idea that may have been innocently adopted. I wasn't alive in 1913. Maybe the idea was it would be easier if the people just paid the federal government directly rather than going through the states. Maybe it was an innocent idea, but it was straight from the Communist Manifesto. And because of that simple idea, our federal government has been able to grow to 440 federal departments and agencies, long past what our Constitution authorizes and allows. And that's our show for this evening. If you're listening live on Republic Broadcasting Network, stay tuned for The Edge of Darkness with Jeffrey Bennett. Thank you to Dr. Jen Vandewater for joining us earlier. Thank you, Mike, my producer. Could not do the show without you. Thank you, the callers and listeners. You are why I continue to do this show, even with all of the technical difficulties. Until next week, protect your liberties. Once they're gone, there's no getting them back. God bless America.